Hi, this is Robert Rickover. I'm an Alexander Technique teacher in Lincoln, Nebraska. I also teach in Toronto and these days pretty much exclusively online. My guest today is Imogen Ragone, an Alexander Technique teacher in Wilmington, Delaware, who also teaches online. And we're going to do a little experiment. Imogen has no idea what we're going to do.
I have no idea.
And this is well, we'll just proceed with it. So Imogen, could you just start by turning your head from side to side just as far as you're comfortably going, as far as you can comfortably move it, and just register the ease of that movement or how much effort it takes to make it. And now come back to neutral again. And this time, when you turn to the left, for example, let your right eye lead the movement. And then when you want to turn to the right, let your left eye lead the movement and see what happens. Always the opposite eye.
Well, I'm sure I went further each way without like straining, like trying to go further. Yeah.
Right. And did it seem a little easier? Sometimes that might be the case too.
Yeah. I mean, and I also use the opposite eye coming back. So if I was
Right.
going that way, I'd be looking with my
Yeah.
right eye, and then I was using my left eye to
Right.
come back to center, and then my left eye to continue.
And I'm guessing that habitually you use the eye on the side you're turning to lead the
Yeah.
movement. That
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
So this is something that I read about many years ago. Barbara Conable mentioned it somewhere. And she's the author, well, she's one of the developers of body mapping. And I asked her if she knew where that came from and also why it was, and she had no idea. And I've been thinking about it on and off over the years. Pretty much everyone has the same experience you do. And I don't understand it. Perhaps it's going into a non-habitual organization that takes you out of some habits that you might have in your normal way of turning your head. That's a possibility. You know, as for example, instead of turning your head by turning your face, if you were to turn the back of your head, that could lead to a slightly different quality of movement. But basically, I have no idea why. And I would love to hear some explanations. So that's why I'm making the video.
I have a kind of a question or
Sure.
a possible theory. I'm just
Sure.
thinking about when you move something on I don't know what the word is, a pivot of some sort. But
Yeah.
if you're on the outer edge would be like this edge rather than the inner. So it feels like it would have more of a sweep. But that might be completely wrong.
I don't know. It could be. Yeah, as I say, I've thought about this a lot, and I do not know the reason. But just to add a little dimension of an interesting aspect of it, and this little trick I learned from Eileen Troberman, who we know, a teacher in California. If you would put your fingers of your hands on either side of your neck, not right on the neck itself, but on either side.
Well, isn't this all my neck?
Well, I'm sorry, on either side of your spine,
the
top vertebrae, the top seven.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And just do this little experiment. Think about just don't actually move your head, but think about looking off to the right and looking off to the left.
It's,
And
what I'm
you,
noticing is that it's hard to think without there being any
there is
movement
some
at all.
movement.
Yeah.
And if you think about, say, moving to the left, leading with your left eye, you're just thinking about it. You're actually moving your eye. Sorry, you're actually moving your left eye, but you're not moving your head.
Oh, okay. Move my eye,
Yeah,
but not my head.
yeah. And then move your right eye over, move the eye that's in the same side as you're imagine turning your head. And just notice you could feel a little movement there, right, of muscles. And then if you switch to using the opposite eye to lead in this imaginary experience, what I notice is there's less movement.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. There was still some, but it was
There was still
less.
some.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
maybe some of that movement is unnecessary, or it just indicates put a little more effort than you need to actually move your head. So I'm just putting this out there for anyone who has a theory about why this is the case. And that's it, unless you have any questions.
No, but I'm going to play with that. I'm very curious about it too, because it definitely seemed to make a difference.
So and this, by the way, is something, of course, you can teach online very quickly and easily. Okay, so thank you. My guest has been Imogen Ragone, an Alexander teacher in Wilmington, Delaware. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. Always interesting.